What is up, everybody, and how is everybody doing today? And welcome back to another Clash mini video on the channel. Season is resetting in 2 hours. The Royal Ghost is coming into the game, and so is the Skeleton King. I want to show you my top 3 decks for when the season resets. I was going to put down Skeleton King, but unfortunately, Skeleton King might not get to level 4, level 5 when you first get it, and it just is not going to be able to win you games. And I want to show you the decks that are going to help you push ladder the moment the update drops. And remember, guys, these decks are specifically designed so that you are not going to be able to get a 3rd star ability. I'm not using 3rd star abilities with these decks because it's harder to get a 3rd star ability in the first week, because it does take about 3 or 4 or 5 days to max out one of your minis, so we don't need to worry about that. This is an Archer Queen deck. It's going to be the first deck that we are going to show you. This deck is looking pretty good. It's got the Witch. The Witch is going to get supered up by the Archer Queen, and it's going to be able to put out skeletons faster. The only way this deck really works is if you have a 2-star witch. So I would suggest you get a 2-star witch really quickly in the shop resets so that you're able to use this deck. The witch is able to use the 5 HP skeletons with the upgrade on the 2nd upgrade. If you only have the witch at 1st upgrade, it's only going to have 3 skeletons, and unfortunately, if you're playing an RC, it's going to cause some problems there. Next up, we're going to have our Countess deck. Countess deck is looking pretty good. The main focus on this deck is getting your Royal Ghost value with the Valkyrie and the Giant Skeleton, making sure your Giant Skeleton is the first thing that's eliminated, getting value with your Prince, and getting value with your Countess. Decently strong deck, but I think that this might be the weakest deck out of 3 of these, but I did want to show you some variety. It took me a very long time to make all these decks and continue to theory craft them out, so that is why these decks are the way they are. They kind of look wonky to you, but it took forever to create them because I had to make sure not only was I accounting for, not really being able to play against so many real players, but I was also having to account for the fact that you're not going to start off with 3-star abilities. So you're not going to have the Barbarian's Roar, you're not going to have the Archer speed up at the start. So I had to make sure that I took that into account as I played all of these matches. Barbarian King deck is going to look pretty smooth. Pretty much the main focus on this deck is your Barbarian King getting as much value as possible. The Royal Ghost, once again, making your Valkyrie invisible, making your Valkyrie just spin to win. Royal Ghost making your Barbarian invisible, who's going to be 2 stars. Your Valkyrie, who should be 1 star on the 1st star, and then your Royal Ghost is going to be 1 star on its 2nd star. And then you're going to have your Spear Goblin and your Archer in the back, and they're going to start doing a lot of damage once your Barbarian King supers. This is a pretty balanced deck. This is a really good deck, and I think this is probably, in my opinion, my favorite deck to start out the season because you have everything you want. It's an easy to play deck, and you just know what to do. You invisible your Barbarian and your Valkyrie, you make everything target your Barbarian King, so your Barbarian King supers as fast as possible, and then you let your Barbarian and Valkyrie and Archer carry you to victory. But let's just jump right into some games. Let's start off with the Archer Queen and show you how it's done. This deck right here with this Archer Queen is absolutely phenomenal. Now let me tell you why it's phenomenal. The reason being is because we have a witch in the deck. When are we able to ever say witch is viable? Let me tell you something. I am not going to use the 3rd star ability of any of these minis, which is also why the Archer is not in this deck or so prevalent in my decks, because the Archer is really strong with the Barbarian King's 3rd ability and the Archer's 3rd ability. Nobody's really going to get a 3-star Archer 2-star out, so you have to realize that that is a very big thing in this new meta that is about to form. As you can see right now, we have 2 big tanks out in front of our Archer Queen to start this out, and this deck also has a witch in it, which I'm really excited to show you guys. And we are playing versus a Shield Maiden, so it is a counter and it does have a lot more HP. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to put a Royal Ghost, and we're going to put a Knight. We're going to re-roll, and you know what? We're going to make these invisible. The reason why I actually needed to get my Archer Queen over one more tile to the left, because now things are just going to go after it and target it. A little bit of a mistake by me right there, but that's okay, because look at this. Royal Ghost goes invisible, retargets the magic archer. Then you're just seeing the power of the retarget of that magic archer, and as you can see, 10 seconds are remaining. We might actually be able to win this if he's able to take out my baby. No, unfortunately for us, he does not take out that mini, and it doesn't refresh with 6 HP in overtime, but that's okay, because now we're going to get down a witch, and now we're going to get down a knight. We're going to drop our ghost down, and now we're going to drop our ghost down back to here. We're going to put our minis like this, and now what we are going to have is we are going to have a very, very strong, I'm actually going to do this just in case he puts a magic archer down the middle. We're going to have a very, very strong start here, as you can see, nothing is going to target my backline minis. My backline minis are just going to go off, and here it is. There's the witch. The witch is coming out. Now everybody's probably like, Enchatin, why are you using a witch? There's so many world champions out. The reason being is because the witch is really good versus every single other hero, and the resets on the royal champion might be nice, but if we are able to get, so we're going to get Chivalry +2, then we're going to reroll, we're going to reroll again, and we're going to get bonus HP onto the skeletons. We could do that, but I'm choosing not to because we are not playing versus a world champion. If we were playing versus a world champion, I definitely would get the +2 HP, making the skeletons have 5 hit points. But we are not playing versus a world champion. We are not going to be doing that. And as you can see, the witch is just sitting in the back. It's spawning skeletons, and now it gets raged up by my archer queen, which means it attacks faster and it's able to spawn more skeletons. As you can see, the hordes of skeletons are just continuing to play onto the field here. And unfortunately for us, he does have this healing ranger, which is causing some problems. But now we're going to be going into the next round. It's going to be round number 5. And now is where the bread and the butter comes with this deck. Now, I'm going to get another upgrade onto my witch. That's a very, very big upgrade right there. And as you can see, I saw my archer queen dying. I really don't want that to continue to happen. So I'm going to place my minis like this, and I'm going to reroll for a knight. And I have to get the 2nd star with the knight here because I do not want to get 3rd star abilities because it is just starting out in the new meta. Not a lot of people have that. So this is beautiful right here. We're going to take out his shield maiden, and the skeletons are spawning from my witch, and now they're going to spawn again because of the speed increase of my archer queen. And as you can see, the Larrys are on the field and they are here to play. 5 HP each. GG, well played right there. Archer queen might be back. All right, now let's get into this Countess deck onto the shield, or should I say shell tile map. We're going to get down a prince, and we're going to get down a archer. We're going to hope that he plays his monk right up the middle. If he doesn't, it's going to cause some problems. All right, so he doesn't put his monk over the exact middle, but we are going to go over all the way to the back here, which actually might be okay as long as we are able to get enough damage off. No, we are not. Looks like we're going to be, oh, maybe, one more HP, one more HP. Oh, Archer OP, and we pick up a game 1 victory. Really well played right there from the Archer, I must say. We're going to get down a Valkyrie, we're going to reroll, we're going to put down a Prince all the way onto the top, and we're going to put down our giant skeleton. Okay, so now you guys got to remember that this is not, you cannot play with 3 stars because you're not going to be able to get 3 stars right away. And I want to show you decks that are going to be completely viable the moment the update drops. That is the sole purpose of this video, is to teach you guys and to show you guys what are going to be the best decks in the game the moment the update drops. Okay, this is going to cause some problems unless he goes after, okay, no, we're going to be good here, as the giant skeleton takes him out in round number 2. And now the fun begins. The reason why the fun begins with this deck is because we got the Royal Ghost, we got grants nearby invisible allies, and now we're going to do this. The reason why we're going to do this is we are going to pull everything Okay, everything to the giant skeleton, because my entire front line on the left-hand side is going to be completely invisible. Okay, he does do that, but that's okay. Look what happens. He's got to come over to my giant skeleton. Everything is onto my giant skeleton, and because of that, he doesn't really get any value whatsoever. My Countess still alive. That's the name of the game here, is the Countess staying alive. We take care of that. We might lose. No, we're not going to lose this. No way, no how, as we pick up. Oh, no, the butterflies. Crystal Pekka. All right, well, you know, sometimes you lose, as that is what happened there, but that's okay. The reason why that's okay is because we're going to actually switch things up right now. We're going to make it like this. We're going to put it like this. The reason why the Valkyrie's here is because the Valkyrie's going to get value. We're going to charge there. We're going to re-roll. We're going to put this here, and we're going to go like this. Now, what I changed up with is, oh, there it is, taking out the miner right away. Giant skeleton is going to get the bomb down. Archer's getting good value here. Countess is just jumping away. Valkyrie's still alive, looking pretty good here. We got to take out the monk. That is what we do. And now we go over and take out the healing ranger. GG, well played right there. Countess deck looking pretty good. Just make sure that you put your Valkyrie towards the middle so that they have to move their entire army over the Valkyrie to get to your giant skeleton, because they are not going to target invisible minis. GG, well played right there. Countess looking pretty good. Next and last up, we wanted to show you a Barbarian King versus the counter here, which is going to be the monk once again. But this time, oh man, I don't want to do this, but I'm going to do this just because. I'm pretty much just going to do this just because I didn't want to re-roll. I feel like re-rolling is very, very important, and I just am choosing not to do that right now. We will sacrifice a round 1 victory because of this, but it's okay, as we might not even, if we can get the boost up, there it is, here is the invisibility, and we take it home in round number 1. Really well played right there. Here comes the boom, as we are now going to get a little bit more interesting with our plays, because, well, we can now. All right, oh man, gotta get down to Barbarian. Oof. Know what? We're just gonna play it like this. I probably should have put my Valkyrie over the middle because his minis are going to be moving that way. That was the one mistake I made here. We could have gotten really good value from our Valkyrie, but we didn't. So we learned right there that the Valkyrie over the middle is the way to go. But guess what? We now learned what to do in round number 3. This deck is just very, very strong. It flows very, very nicely. And the Royal Ghost being able to make your entire front line invisible is insane. Barbarian, reroll, Valkyrie, increase speed, and Archer. So now what we're going to do is we're going to make our troops invisible once again, but this time I'm actually going to put down my Barbarian 2 tiles back further. So now watch what happens. Look at how much value my Valkyrie gets. Look at this value. It's just spinning away. It just untouched. It's already almost at what, 4 shots already. Just insane. My Archer's going off in the back as my Barbarian King is boosting it up, and the Archer is just going to win me this game. GG, well played right there. Barbarian King is looking good as well. Remember, put the Valkyrie towards the middle. Get your Archer back, so when the Barbarian King supers, it makes the Archer do a ton of damage. Remember, we're not using 3rd star abilities right now because they are not going to be out the moment the update refreshes and the season resets. So just keep that in mind, that this deck might not work in a week or 2, but it will work for the first couple of days in the season reset. Thank you so much for watching this YouTube video. There will be more videos tomorrow. There's going to be another best deck videos that I come out with after playing some real players and really getting a feel for it. But I just wanted to give you guys 3 decks that will be decently strong, in my opinion, at the start of the season update. So I put in the work so you guys can just bounce off of these, maybe get some trophies really quickly, maybe bounce up, and then kind of adapt as the day goes on. I'll be playing so much tomorrow. I might also be streaming as well. So I will be able to get you better decks tomorrow. I think these decks are really, really solid. I think these decks are really good, but tomorrow is really where the decks are going to come out to play. But I think that these decks are a great starting point, and they are definitely going to help you pick up wins with the moment the minis reset.